Hello, everyone in COMM8400. This is a week 1 mini lecture tied to your self-directed component of your class. We're going to talk about really communication styles right now. And I'd like you to pause for a moment and think about how you tend to communicate with people. Are you someone who jumps into a group of people? Do you stay back from a group? Are you tired after you're in a large group of people? Or do you get energy when you're with people? Do you like talking? Do you stay back? Think about how you tend to interact. It's not that one thing is wrong and the other is right. What I'd like you to think about is how you tend to interact and how you tend to respond to people who don't act the same way you do. So what I'd like you to do, I have a quiz I'm going to ask you to do. And that quiz, it's a link in the course shell in the complete after class section. And I'll share with you what that looks like. Here is the web page, the blog post that I'd like you to take a look at. The link is in the course shell in the after class activities about communication styles quiz. And what I'd like you to do is, you can read the blog post if you like. I'm not asking you to do that. What I would like you to do is to take the quiz. As I scroll through this, I would like you to take this quiz. Look for this square in, and I'll close that. It has some pop-up ads. I would like you to take this quiz. And the way to take this quiz is to click on this button. So what I will ask you to do is load that up, take the quiz, and you'll have about, I think it's 20 questions to go through, and there will be a solution. It will tell you what kind of one of 4 types of communication styles you have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to pause my video right now, go and complete that quiz. And then there's a spot where I'd just like you to think about, write down what your solution was. Write that down, save it, and then come back to the video. And then I'll talk about the 4 versions that are the 4 styles. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then I have a little activity for you to do afterwards. So right now, I'm just going to pause while you go and work on that quiz. You've taken the quiz. Now it's time for me to move along here and talk a little bit about those 4 options. In communication, you tend to have somebody who, you can think about somebody who's an open person. Think about these terms or the description. This is somebody who tends to talk about what is on their mind, how they're feeling. And it's someone who tends to look right at somebody, makes eye contact, is right there with you, perhaps coming a little closer to you in your space. It's a very open person. It's very difficult to show that on a screen. But I think you may recognize that, someone who does that. You can also have someone who's very, very direct, who just keeps going. And we're going to do things right now, right away, move ahead. You can have someone then who's indirect, who kind of works around, that talks around things to build a relationship or to answer a problem or to solve a difficult situation. It's not that one is different than another. It's that people tend to have a different way of approaching communication. So there are 4 types that we talk about in this kind of structure we're talking about. The first one's a director. Think about whether you know anybody who's a director. Somebody who likes to give orders, likes to be in control, somebody who's competitive, somebody who's really into personal, like, I got to win. I have to win. Someone who makes a decision. Someone who almost makes decisions sometimes before you might make a decision. That I must do something, I must have action, must go ahead and do that. That's kind of a director. Think of a director directing a movie. It's somebody who, in control, wants to see things happening, productivity, all those things I note on the slide. That's a director kind of style. Then think of a socializer. Someone who likes to work in teams, work with people, build relationships. A really good listener, that person who leans in and says, wow, tell me more about that. That must be hard. Whoa, wow. Someone it's all about the relationship that's important, perhaps over anything else. And they want to do things with people. They don't like working by themselves. They like working in teams with people. That's where they get their energy. Think about whether you know someone like that. Then you have an analyzer, someone who likes facts, thinking, logical. I need rules. An analyzer needs rules. They like to be organized. They don't like craziness. They don't like chaos. They like control. They like those instructions. Like to think things through. I'm going to go this way to find a solution. Analyzing, quiet, thoughtful. Then you can have a relator, somebody who likes change and creativity, somebody who likes big ideas, may not be able to make those big ideas happen, but they like thinking big. There's always a different view of something. They adapt. They're friendly. They tend to be optimistic. So you got those 4 kinds. Go over them again here. Director, socializer, analyzer, and relator. I like you to think about how your world is surrounded by people who may act in these ways, in big or small kind of ways. How you act. What I'd like you to do right now is this video is going to end, and I'd like you to do a very short survey before you move on to the next video. I'd like you to look at the Communication Styles survey. It's the next item in the after class folder in Conestoga. Click on it, and there's 3 questions there. I'd like you to think about, or sorry, 2 questions. I guess there's 2 together in one. I'd like you to write in which kind of person the quiz told you you were. Then I'd like you to answer the question about what you think about what the quiz said. I want you to think about whether you agree or not, and tell me why you agree or you don't. A lot of this class is about reflection and thinking about how we as individuals are acting. It's not about everybody else. So I hope you had fun with the quiz. Please fill in that little survey and then come back to the next video coming up. I'll see you in a couple of moments.